Gas, groceries, and now rent. Surging rent prices are at an all-time high. June saw the biggest monthly increase in 36 years.
Not even a one-bedroom. It's 400 square feet studio. So as soon as you walk in, you're walking into a bedroom, supposedly a dining area, and then just a small kitchen and bathroom.
Las Vegas resident Hope Gallegos and her husband call this studio apartment home.
When we first moved in, our contract was $856, and then soon as the renewal is coming in September, we got a notice for it to go to $1,200.
Nationally, rent has increased across the board. The latest Labor Department Consumer Price Index report found the rent index rose 0.8% in June over the previous month. Year to year, rent is up 5.6%. Gallegos has seen the impact firsthand.
You know, usually it's $20, $50, and it goes on like year after year, but $300 for 400 square feet, no washer dryer, no security, no.
Senior housing economist Chris Salviati of the online marketplace Apartment List says the hikes have been going on for a while.
It isn't necessarily surprising. So we've been seeing in our rent index, rents have been increasing really rapidly over the course of the past year and a half.
What's behind the skyrocketing cost of rent? Salviati says there's a really strong demand for rentals, but there aren't that many units available or being built. Apartment List has seen a drop in new rental listings.
Before the pandemic, a vacancy rate around 6 to 7% was sort of normal, and now we're seeing it down around 5%. That has eased a little bit, but it fell as low as 4%.
Supply chain issues, delays in the construction pipeline, and an increase in material cost have led to housing and rental shortages. Some potential first-time buyers are also delaying purchasing a home with mortgage interest rates high and fewer choices. Here's what that looks like around the country. In New York City, rent for a one-bedroom averages nearly $2,100, about a 27% increase from last year. In Chicago, rent bumped up about 10%. In San Francisco, about 7.6%. Some renters are renewing leases even with steep increases because it may be cheaper to stay put. Others, like Jocelyn Malinconico of Boynton Beach, Florida, are discovering the cost of relocating.
I was in the same community and we still got charged $1,200 just to move down the block, basically.
On average, moving costs are 9% higher this year than last, according to Hire a Helper. Still, there may be hope. Experts predict that while rents will continue to increase, they'll be at a much slower pace.
You know, again, based on our data, that we are going to see things start to cool off in the CPI in the coming months, but that will probably be, maybe sometime in the fall.
And Veronica, this story hits close to home. I live in Chicago and it costs about $100 more a month for me, which is usually roughly around $20. And where you are in Atlanta, according to Apartment List, that increase in rent is about 12.6%.
Ouch. Wow. Anyway, look at this. It is just tough. And you see the people that you're interviewing and you can just really, really feel their pain. Kat, I mean, obviously this has to do with supply and demand, as you've explained in your story, but do you have any advice for renters that are struggling right now?
That's a great question. If you are a renter and for some reason you're struggling with paying rent, one advice would be to have a conversation with your landlord. Perhaps there's a way to negotiate it, especially if you've lived in your unit for years. Another advice is if you can push back moving in the fall or winter time when rents are usually cheaper than in the summer. Veronica?
That's some great advice. All right, Kat, thank you so much for that. We appreciate it.